Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 1 of the Python learning in Dynamo. In this lesson, we will set up Python script environment so we can start interacting directly with Revit's API. We will cover how to load .NET assemblies using CLR, bring in the Revit API with AddReference, and access the active Revit document. But before we get started, let me talk a little bit about .NET and CLR. .NET is a free, cross-platform, open-source developer platform created by Microsoft. It is used for building various types of applications, including web apps, mobile apps, desktop apps, games, and IoT devices. .NET supports multiple languages and tools, with C# being a popular choice. It provides a runtime environment for executing applications and offers libraries and APIs for various functionalities. Common Language Runtime, or CLR, is the core of the .NET framework, responsible for managing and execution of programs written in various .NET languages. Inside Dynamo space, we add Python node and import .NET libraries. We edit it, and I'm going to clear this up to the line 1. First, we need to access .NET libraries inside IronPython. This line gives us access to Common Language Runtime features. We use AddReference to load external assemblies. Here we load the Revit services.dll file, which allows us to access Dynamo's connection to Revit. DLL file stands for Dynamic Link Library, which is a collection of reusable code and data. So from CLR, we are going to add reference, and we import external assembly, in this case Revit services. Now we need to access the Revit document and application. Document Manager is how we get the current Revit file and access Revit's API. Doc is the actual model, while App gives us access to the application level settings, families, and more. Transaction Manager will be used later when we modify elements, because Revit needs all changes to be inside a transaction. So from Revit services, dot persistence, we import documents manager, and again from Revit services, this time transactions, we import transaction manager. And we need to choose the current database document. So from document manager, from all the instances available, we bring current database document. And the same for the current UI application. So we name it UI app from document manager. We bring current UI application. And now let's add references to the Revit API. From CLR, we are going to add references and load Revit API. And another one, we load Revit API UI, and we are going to say from Autodesk dot Revit dot database import all, and again from Autodesk dot Revit dot UI, again import all. Now we are loading Revit's actual API libraries. Revit API.dll lets us interact with elements, geometry, parameters, and more. Revit API UI.dll is used for things like selection and dialogues. Once loaded, we import the namespaces to get access to classes like element, wall, filtered element collector, and so on. Now let's use what we've set up to get three simple values: the name and number of the current project and the version of Revit it is open in. For that, I'm going to fill project informations and project number so that we can call them inside Dynamo. Doc.project information gives access to general project data. App.version name returns the Revit version string. So let's bring them out. I'm going to write project info, and from the current documents I'm going to bring out project information. For the first parameter, I'm going to write down project name, project underscore info, and we call the name of the project And for the number, I'm going to call it project underscore number, and from the project info we call its number. And for the Revit version, I'm going to call it Revit underscore version, and from the app I'm going to call version name. Now we need to set our output, so I'm going to call it out, and as a string I'm going to write project name colons space, which I'm going to add this parameter to it, and another string which is going to be project number colons and we add project number another parameter that we are going to call was Revit version and we are going to call the Revit version. Now if I save and run this script, as you can see we retrieve all the three parameters inside Revit: project name, which was set to APF, project number 1234, and the Revit version, which was Revit 2024. So far, you've set up your Python node to talk to Revit's core API using CLR, AddReference, and Document Manager. This is the base you will use in almost every Python script you write inside Dynamo. In the next lesson, we will dive into collecting elements using the filtered element collector, one of the most powerful tools in the Revit API.